More on our breaking news now. Rocker Ozzy Osbourne has died. The Black Sabbath frontman just wrapped up his farewell concert less than 3 weeks ago. Aside from his decades-long musical career, which included stints with the band as well as a solo career, Osbourne was also appearing on the MTV reality show The Osbournes, which followed his family and their lives in Los Angeles. He was 76 years old. And joining us now with more on the remarkable career of Ozzy Osbourne is music commentator Eric Alper. Eric, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. It's obviously a very, very sad day for so many fans. And I think what makes this so hard is that it comes just weeks after Osbourne reunited with his Black Sabbath bandmates for a huge farewell concert.
Yeah, you know, what's interesting about it is that Ozzy, depending on where and how old you are, there are so many points of entry to Ozzy's life. If you happen to be older, then you probably remember just the astonishing, groundbreaking work of Black Sabbath in the late 1960s and early 70s. And then when, you know, Ozzy gets kicked out of the band for doing too much drugs, how big of a drug addict do you have to be to get kicked out of that band? But he did, going on to solo work in the 1980s. And with much music and MTV entering into the video age, we really got to see Ozzy in our homes for the first time for a lot of people. We got to see how amazing he was on stage, how wild and crazy he was. He bit the head off of a bat that was so controversial, it still follows him around. I'm still talking about it all these years ago. And then, of course, you know, with the very public battle that he had with drugs and alcohol, his story coming out that he was abused as a child, speaking out against these issues that really no rock stars were talking about, or, you know, secretly going into rehab. But Ozzy would be talking about all of that. And then later on in the 1990s and 2000, becoming an absolutely world famous television reality star with the rest of his family, and bringing Sharon Osbourne into our lives. And so, you know, I hate to kind of say it like this, but I'm just so glad that he got to reform with the band that brought him there in the first place, and watch all of those amazing musicians like Metallica and Guns N' Roses and everybody pay tribute to him, not just 3 weeks ago. I'm heartbroken that he's passing away, but I'm kind of a little bit happy to know that he at least got to saw one final last time how beloved he was.
And at that farewell concert, he told those fans how much he loved them. And as you were talking about, there were so many health challenges in the last couple of years, but that certainly did not keep Ozzy Osbourne away from his love of music, Eric.
Yeah, and it came out a couple of days ago that, you know, not only was that just a rock concert, which was amazing, but it was a charity benefit for various causes, including children's hospitals and Parkinson's disease research. It raised $190 million in less than 24 hours. That's not just a testament to the causes, but how people felt about Ozzy. And how important he was to their lives. I mean, he's one of the few people that has transcended the musical style. I get it. There may not be everybody out there that's a fan of heavy metal music or hard rock music, but I guarantee you that if you have any rock bands in your collection, including Nirvana and all those bands in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, they all had a Black Sabbath or Ozzy record in their catalog.
Yeah, that is for sure. And you know, just his work, I think the legacy speaks for itself when you think about the fact that he pioneered heavy metal with Black Sabbath and then went on to have a really successful personal career, solo career as well. Can you talk more about some of the biggest hits you think will stay with fans for an entire lifetime?
Yeah, you know, when he got kicked out of the band, I think he was looking at basically two roads to go on. Either he's just going to end up killing himself, destroying himself from within, or, you know, start forming another band and try to get music back in his life again, and he did. And he worked with Randy Rhoads, a phenomenal guitarist who ended up unfortunately passing away way too young. But the Blizzard of Oz album with his debut album, and then a number of hits, including No More Tears, that brought him onto the Billboard top 10 charts and hits around the world, which was surprising hearing somebody like Ozzy Osbourne on the radio, considering that not even a decade ago, parents would have shuddered at the fact of their kids listening to Black Sabbath. But, you know, he kind of smoothed his music around the edges, made it a little bit more commercial, and he was selling tens of millions of copies of his music. And I think for Gen X and people like me, like, his solo work is how we got involved with his music in his life in the first place, and then going back to like Black Sabbath.
Yeah, and very, very quickly, I just want to talk about the MTV reality show, The Osbournes. I remember watching that and thinking, what a superstar. He's so unapologetic, not afraid to show that families can also be a little dysfunctional. And he was really personal when he let us into his family dynamics there as well.
You know what I took away from it too, along with that? Just how loved he was by the family, and how much he loved and needed his wife Sharon by his side. That was not an act. Most men would just be hopeless without their wives. Ozzy Osbourne adored his wife, and we got to see that love throughout the family dynamic as well.
Eric Alper, thank you so much for joining us. We so appreciate your perspective on this. As we mentioned, this is a very sad day for so many fans. Thank you, Eric. And we want to also share with our viewers now that the Osbourne family has released a statement. This was issued just moments ago. Here it is on your screen now, and it says, "It is with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. He was with his family and surrounded by love. We ask everyone to respect our family privacy at this time." And this is from Sharon, Jack, Kelly, Amy, and Lewis, his entire family. Stay with us as we keep a close eye on this breaking news. We're going to have more reaction to it as well. Again, rocker Ozzy Osbourne has passed at the age of 76, and we're now hearing from his family.